the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Don't label us left or right. Our Americans not looking for a war, but we came to fight. Our Americans. Somebody's gotta stand up. Stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside.
I'm not so sure being an American is so wonderful. Are you? Oh, man, I'm telling you. I bring that up for a reason. Did anybody watch it? Clown president yesterday. I was at my son's in Super Bowl. By the way, welcome to Super Dave Show. It's Monday, February 8th. Well, had Super Bowl yesterday. I really didn't. I watched a little bit, but not much. I used to be a big football fan, not as much as a lot of people. I never made anybody do everything they wanted on football day and sit in front of the TV all day. But I watch my game sometimes. But ever since they started kneeling, I kind of stay away. But one of the reasons I kind of watched yesterday, I got to be honest with you. I didn't watch it all, just watched a little bit of it. And Wendy and I were playing shuffleboard during that. But when we were watching, Tom Brady is a good buddy of Donald Trump. And so to tell you the truth, even though I'm from Missouri, I know some of my Kansas City friends probably don't like it, but you know what? That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So anyway, it was okay, and Tom Brady won. Let's put it that way. I'm glad to see that. So for my Kansas City friends, it's only because I'm a political guy, and frankly, I'm glad to see that Kansas City's done well. But at the same point, when it comes to pro sports, it's amazing how much interest I've lost in pro sports. I mean, I was a hockey coach and a player and all that stuff, and yeah, little me was. But I will tell you right now, I can't even watch hockey. I mean, I can't watch those. I watch them a little bit, but not much. But one of the reasons is because what are they doing? They're in a big facility. They might as well be where the kids play because nobody can go in there. This stupid mask garbage. So anyway, by the way, now, isn't it interesting? Well, first off, my show notes were there. I wonder how the liberals feel today when you drive by and you see the gas was $1.89 the other day, or actually, no, not the other day, but when Trump was president, it was actually down to $1.62 or something like that. But ever since the clown took over, it's up to $2.49 or something like that. It's just, there you go. I hope you liberals are happy with that. And if you're diabetic, you need insulin, I'll bet you're just extraordinarily happy with this guy. Yeah, they say insulin prices after Biden took office. Now people say, well, that's not his fault. No, he signed an executive order to reverse what Trump did. So their prices are skyrocketed. But no big deal. They can handle it. All those big programs. They want to give away college. They want to do all that. That's what liberals want to do. I'm going to talk a little about liberals. Yeah, the hell with the hypocrite Republicans that won't even stand up. I'll talk about them in a minute here. But, the liberals, they got what they wanted. And remember, I think a lot of people forgot about this. It was the liberal left that said, we use too much. All of a sudden, they just come up with this garbage. We use too much oil, too much gasoline, whatever. And because of that, we need to raise prices. What is it? In Europe, I think it's $8, $10 a gallon. So we need to do that here. It's really interesting. When the liberals do something, they always want to raise taxes. You ever notice that? They want to. Oh, well, wait. Whoa, I forgot. I forgot something. They want to raise taxes on everyone else. See, liberals love. This is one thing about liberals. I guarantee you, liberals love to tell you what to do and how to live your life. And if it costs more, too bad. I remember when Obamacare came through. Now, I was married at the time. We were paying like $320 a month for our insurance. And I'll be damned if Obamacare comes through. And I remember specifically, now I guess there were no fact checkers back then, but I remember specifically, yeah, I'll get to that too, that the left was saying, well, Obama was saying, if you like your policy, you can keep it. Well, that was a blatant lie. And you know what? And you know what the liberals told me? I remember saying, this is crap. I'm not paying $900 a month for health insurance. When you're getting for $3, it says $900, and plus the you had to pay $5,000 up front or $10,000. I mean, the deductibles were unbelievable. So all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute. What are you complaining? It's a better policy. In my case, I just had my knee replaced. And I remember saying, well, the one before worked great and it didn't bankrupt me. Well, but, we know that this is better for you. It's so nice that liberals are great enough to tell me what's better for me. I mean, there's nothing I like better than somebody who doesn't know crap and starts telling me what's better for me. And so I just, I just know from back then it was just, where are we going with this? And of course, remember the premium was supposed to stay low, and for a very few it did, but very few. So, Dino's right. Dino's from Pennsylvania. How's all those jobs working out there? I mean, I remember when Biden, and if we had a media, they would report this. Of course, they don't. But Biden came out and said, we're gonna stop all the coal and fracking and all that stuff. And then when he was caught on it, he lied about it, and the media, the mainstream media and social media lied too. Now, by the way, I got to find a different place to put my shows. I used to they was doing YouTube for a while. I'm probably gonna have to get rid of that, because they're taking them down. They don't like the content. They don't like the content. Yeah. I don't know why. So, like I said, eventually they're going to say, well, too much. They're going to, and YouTube was nice enough to say that if it doesn't stop, so I won't be on YouTube much longer, I'm sure, but if it doesn't stop, then they're going to take me down for good. Well, I guess, let me see, what do they want me to say? Here, let me do okay, YouTube, I know you're watching. I think President Biden is doing a wonderful job. He and his beautiful wife, they care about us, and they want us to wear masks. They want all these things because they care about us. They know that I need to take more of my money and buy gas because that will help the environment. They also know that if I pay higher insulin prices, I guess I'm assuming, because you know better, YouTube, that if they do that, then they can use that extra money that they're charging, because they're not doing because they want to. They can use that, and I'm positive that will. I'm positive that they're going to use that money for further research. It certainly won't be for profits, because we know that liberals really don't like profits. Do you know how hard that is to say? It really is. Can I save to Rumble? And I don't even know what the second one is. Rumble, I've heard. I've been on Rumble, and I'm probably going to do that. I just started looking into it because somebody said, "Hey, we want to watch your old shows." I don't even watch my shows to begin with. I do them, so I watch them. No, I do every once in a while. However it works, I don't know how it works. That's the problem when you're stuck doing all this stuff. You do it on your own. But good morning, Miss Linda. How are you? So anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't know. It's not worth it. No, you know what? Trying to please Facebook, it's like you'd have to turn into an official nutcase, purple and green haired leftist who's too damn ugly to look at. I don't know what that is. BitChute? That's weird. I've never heard of that. Never heard of it. They don't teach me anything here. Look, I'm an old fart learning on my own. Just heard this morning that more points came in for KC. Yeah, that's good one, Cully. Yeah, it's over. In fact, yeah, it's over. So you thought Tampa Bay won, but just got the news from my Florida news source that they got the final points came in, and Kansas City actually won by 3 points. I think that is outstanding. You know why? Because that damn Tom Brady doesn't deserve it. Think about that. Can you imagine if that would happen? Now, there would be I would turn this around just for the hell of it. If it would have been the opposite in the election in November, and say, for instance, it looked like Biden was winning, and then overnight, think about this, overnight, you had all these votes come in, all this silliness come on, and I'll talk about absolute truth in a minute here. When that stuff happened, can you imagine what would happen if all of a sudden Trump came in with another 15 million votes and ended up winning by... Can you imagine what would happen? They would be burning the cities down. They would be bombing the U.S. Capitol. They would be, and especially if the few Republicans that were on our side, that's the problem we got. They'd be bombing the Capitol, knocking it down. That's what the left would be doing. But no, we don't do that. That's what they do. So, and by the way, somebody, I do try to look at, the stuff that people send me on Messenger, because I get YouTubes, and there was one I wanted to watch, but I didn't have time yesterday. And I started looking at it, and I had to go. And so I get back, and of course, it was on YouTube, and of course, YouTube took it off, because it was in regards to the fact that if somebody's got, I don't know, if somebody's got it somewhere else, let me know. I'm sure it may be on MeWe or something like that. But the one where what was it, in 21 minutes, how the Capitol how it really went down or something like that in 21 minutes, that's really, and I want to see that. Though, but then again, that's bullying. If you tell the truth, that's bullying. Oh, rhinos. They're phonies. I told you, let's call them phonies. Because it's like if you say they're Republicans in name only, I get that. But I like phonies because phonies is so much, it paints a better picture, more blatant picture. Well, that's what it is. They're phonies. I'm telling you what, after watching the behavior of these clowns, it just is sickening beyond belief. But, I will tell you that a lot of people are just going to sit on the side. And it happens even, we got real Republicans going, but, I guess people really aren't that serious about it. Honestly, when I see the people that are not getting involved, I mean, that just, look, when we say get involved, in fact, I have a little story to tell you here. When we say get involved, I'm talking about put your money where your mouth is. And the money doesn't go to me. The money goes towards getting real Republicans elected. And until people do that, until they go on there and donate monthly, and it's really easy to do, until they do that, I don't think people are that serious. Oh, there's a few. And it's always the same ones. But we always have the other ones out there that are just first in line to tell me what I need to do. And I always laugh at that because I look at him and I go, well, what the hell are you doing? Well, I'm telling you what to do. Well, thank you so much because you're so much smarter than me. That's what it amounts to. Look, I don't mean to be so mean, but I really don't give a damn. When you've got these, thank you, Doug. So you got it. Phonies is what we got. We don't call them rhinos anymore because rhinos, people actually, believe it or not, a lot of people don't even know what rhino means. The people like us know what it means, and it just isn't. It just isn't descriptive enough. It really isn't. When if you say they're a rhino, it's like, oh well. If you say they're a phony, you go, huh? Yeah, they're a phony. It's an easy response, and so I take this from the world of Donald J. Trump, who called it fake news, and it stuck. Who took names and put it on people, and it stuck. And it stuck, and it stuck, and he won. And I want to win. But if when I do political strategy, how do you beat someone? I always look. This is how it works, folks. So I want everybody to pay attention. I always look for the other side's weak spot. That's the first thing I do. Look for the weak spot, and I can figure out how to beat them. And what do you think why it's so easy to beat us? I mean, really, why is it so easy to beat us? I'm not going to answer. I want everybody else to answer. Why do you think it's easy to beat us? Because it really is. When you look at it, I'm telling you, it works. It does work. And for some reason, and look, whether you like the left or not, they are much more successful than we are. And we have more of us. We have more of us. And nobody says we have to adopt their policies, but we better start learning from it. Because when I go to war with people, I mean, when I truly go to war with people, I'm not talking about physically. When I go to war with people, the first thing I look at are their weak spots. Their weak points. What can I do to crush them? That's what you do. I mean, it's like football, basketball, sports. I told you I'm a sports guy. So I use a lot of my techniques because of sports. And if you have played sports, you may not understand as much, but competition, and it is competition, you're competing for people's minds. And when you're competing for people's minds, you look at see what it takes. Now, those same people now would say, well, Dave, how come your way isn't successful? I don't know. I guess because the conservatives are conservative with their money and their time, and they want to get. Well, I want to give it to my family. Everything. Well, in the meantime, they're stealing you blind. They're taking away your rights. They're charging your kids with bank accounts that you can't even. I mean, with credit cards that you can't even come close to paying. You got it, Dino. Well, there's two. That's number one. That's number one. But you know what? You're right. That really is it. The Republicans' weak spot, they have no balls. Now, here's what really gets me, ladies and gentlemen. This should really make a lot of people run to this morning because I like it when I chase people off. We don't get mad enough. We don't say, well, I'm so pissed off, I'm going to do what it takes to win. We don't have to, we expect our leaders, I hate to call them leaders, we expect the people who are in office that have been elected, Mitch McConnell and all these clowns, and we know better anyway, and most of us know better anyway. But we expect them to do what we tell them. And the biggest thing I can say right now is, how is that working for us? Let me tell you right now, and this is a human reaction, and I understand it totally because I have to go through this right now. Most Republicans do not, most Republicans don't financially do anything with any candidates. They just don't. There are a few that do. I'm not going to say there aren't. There are a few that do, but most don't. And, the excuse now is, well, we don't know if real Republicans are going to do anything. Well, real Republicans is about us. It's not about Anything else? It's about us and trying to get back. Got to see this. Yesterday, I spent 2 hours with Congressman Mike Kelly. If you don't know Mike, he's the real deal. Kelly told me Mike, the Democrat told Mike Kelly the Republicans play by the rules. The Democrats give. You know what? Dino, you are 100% correct. He is right. And when I tell people that, they think, no, we don't do stuff like that. You know what? When I used to play sports, I was that clean Republican back then. I played by the rules and the rest of it. But then I learned about winning. And in winning sometimes, you have to do some things that you really don't want to do. So please understand it's about winning. Now, if you want to go silently by and let the SS take over and you just say, you might just put handcuffs on because you're putting handcuffs on against the left and the left doesn't give a damn about you. You know, I see Republicans, and this is what pissed me off the most on January 6th. I saw Republicans apologizing for the few that went in there and did what they did at the Capitol. And there were very few, by the way. We all know it was Antifa mainly, but the very few. They were apologizing for him. Now, let me tell you right now, if we didn't have so many damn phonies, they would have said, you know something? When you start apologizing for all the crap that's been done in Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, you go city by city, and all the stuff they've done. When they bombed the Capitol, we do. No. What do Republicans do? They don't have any balls. They make it. They're defensive. I have said, and you people know this, I have said for years, we have to start being offensive. We got to play offense. We react. If you react, you get your asses kicked, and that's what's going on. You know, but see, Dino, Republicans don't know how to win. And when you try to teach them, you know, it's like, well, they make excuses. Linda says Republicans are pussies. You know something? They are. Because when I have said, okay, in St. Louis County here, they shut it down a few months ago. And I said, let's go by Sam Page's house and we're going to start protesting. Oh, no, we can't lower ourselves to the level. My favorite one, that when I go out and do what I do, watch what you say. I can't believe people tell me this. I know the media better than most. Watch what you say because they may use it against you. What the hell do you think they do anyway? That's why I tell people, don't even talk to them. You know, I've talked to them a few times, and you know what? They really don't like talking to me. I don't give them a damn thing. And if anything else, I throw it back in their face, and they don't like that. You're right. They know how to win for themselves. That's it. That's exactly what it is. All those riots we had, and you didn't see one Democrat, not one, in fact, what they say, this is what happens when you piss us off. You know, Republicans like to run around like they got handcuffs on all the time. And they're afraid what they're going to say about them. You got to learn the Super Dave approach of myself and a few others. I really don't give a damn what you think about me. I really don't give a damn. I mean, I want you to know that I'm here for the right reasons, but I want you to not give a damn what the other side's saying, because honestly, it's crap. You know, Dino, that, you know, we got a lot in common here, because Dino's doing something in Pennsylvania there. And he said, tonight I'll be speaking in a meeting that should have a couple hundred in attendance. My message is simple and clear. Get off your asses and don't come back. Or don't come back. And that is the message. I mean, look, I almost want to say there's some people watching right now. They have not gone to our website, but they're there. If they spend money and everything else, and I know it, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm looking for you. Where the hell are you? Oh, you're going to tell me what to do. Now, a lot of them right now don't log in because they don't want to hear me say that. But where the hell are you? Why haven't you gone to realrepublicans.net and said, hey, I want to be involved. I want to make sure we can do this. Yeah, look what they did. Lou Dobbs, who is a Trump supporter, and he says it the way it is, the top-rated show for Fox Business. Business really has some great business ethics, don't they? They have some great business ethics. Let's get rid of the really good ones. So right now they're crashing. You know, even look, there's a little bit, not much. The evening lineup on Fox is about all they have left. The rest of them are useless. I haven't really paid. I really do. It's really funny because people say all you do is watch Fox News. I hardly ever watch Fox News. It's rare. It really is. I don't understand why we just sit on our hands. I really don't get it. No, we're going to start a group. No, we're just going to work it out together, Dino. Don't be putting that on my page here. I started Real Republicans for a reason. We'll work this out together. We'll make something happen. But there's a reason why I call it Real Republicans. And to be honest with you, I think Real Republicans is. And here's the problem with your group, and not your group. I'm not with the name. Is that if you had a separate party for what it was, it's almost impossible to get elected. And to me, I went a step farther and said, what can we do to get elected? That's really what it was. So that's where we are with that. But, you know, it's no big deal. We're on the same page, and I know it. But my point to all this is, folks, that if we get off our hands and do something, we'll make it. Facebook blocking from everybody. I'm really shocked they're allowing me to do this show anymore. Right now, all they're doing, I guess they don't have somebody sit around for 2 hours and watch it. I don't know. Or it makes more sense and they don't want to. But on YouTube, yeah, I get told, oh no, your content is too much. You know, I'm violent. You know, I didn't go to Washington D.C. and do anything. And I want to, you know, where is the media? I mean, I always say, where is the media today? Where's the media? Sitting on their hands and waiting for their marching orders from the left and phony Republicans. So, Linda, you did nail it, though. Republicans are pussies. They won't put their money where their mouth is. People back out and say, well, I'll do this, and they back out. Well, you know, and I'm not trying to be rude by that, but until we get serious, if I'm on the opposing one, I'll tell you right now, I know it. I get it, but there's a reason why I did it, Dino, and understand. No, we both are. So there's a reason why I did it, because I had the foresight to say, how do we get elected? Because let me tell you right now, I've been doing this for a long time, and people go back and forth, and they go to the Capitol, and they worry about this, and they're having you sign all this stuff, and I get it. And kudos to those people. It's a lot of work. But you know what, the one thing that we're not doing, and this really is the key. I mean, this is the key to all of it. It's about who is elected and voting, making those decisions. That, to me, is the ultimate. If you don't make that your ultimate, then you are going nowhere. They're going to look at what the left has done. When Obama was in office, he put more leftist judges in than you know what to do with. And to Trump's credit, he did the opposite. He put more conservative judges in than ever. We didn't get that from Bush. We didn't do the other stuff. Good night. I mean, good day. Good day, buddy. You too. Dino's a good associate. He's from Pennsylvania. But I want to get back to what I'm saying here. You know, and Dino's just like, well, we have that in common. You look around and go, what the hell are you people doing here? You know, I got to tell you a little story here about what happened to me a few days ago. I haven't done a show since then. I see people adding to Real Republicans, which is fine. And I have to do extra work. Keith, I don't know if Keith is here or not, but we have to do extra work as the administrators to look at it and see if they're not a troll or, because some people don't know, and we want to make sure we have people there. So I look at it. I'm looking at some of these people, and it's all by the same person. And I'm looking at their profiles, and I really am not seeing anybody that looks political to me, that they're actually going to be there and help. And we don't need more people in the group. I don't give a damn. I would rather have 1/5 the people there, and they all work. They do what they can. But no. So anyway, I asked a very simple question, and I was actually nice that day. And I said, I see you're adding people. We appreciate that, but I'm looking at their profiles, and I really don't see anything political. And I'm trying to figure out, what the deal was. Now, it could be that they just wanted to add. I didn't know, and I asked in that way, and I did do it kindly. I can be nice sometimes. Don't plan on it, but I can be. And I got a vicious response. Well, I just don't do it anymore. I said, wasn't trying to be rude. I'm just saying that we go in, we vet the people, we make sure they're going to be there, help, and the whole thing. Well, same thing. Rude. You're being a jerk. You know what? After about 3 or 4 times just saying, look, I apologize. I wasn't trying to be. And I don't really go that far, but it happened to be, I won't go into who it is. Happened to be a relation to somebody. And I just thought, one more time, and I was. And after that, I said, you know what? I worked my butt off on this. And I'll be damned if I may have you attack me and abuse me. So I deleted this woman as a friend, and I took her out of the group. Now, some people say, what, you got thin skin? Never. But you know something? This is a person that's never done anything except maybe show up sometimes. Great. Glad you show up. Never given a penny to Real Republicans. Shows up, eats the food, does all that stuff, whatever it is. And as far as I'm concerned, does nothing. Another person. Just what they need. More welfare. That's what we got. We got, it's really funny how conservatives, conservatives believe in hard, supposedly, I'm going right here now. Conservatives supposedly believe in hard work. You make your way, you pay your own, and that's what I hear. Until it comes to politics. And when it comes to politics, it's like, well, no, I'm not doing that. I want free stuff. Conservatives love free stuff. Oh my God. They're worse than liberals in many ways. This doesn't cost me. When I told somebody that I was paying $5 a month for One America News, and I watch it sometimes, well, you could get it on here for free. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, I want to ask everybody out there that knows all the free stuff. How is it working for you when it comes to politics? When you're looking at somebody and say, I can't believe I've heard of them. Republicans don't take the time to research. They don't take the time when they do have somebody and they want to fund them. They don't do that. And here's my most favorite one that I get to hear all the time. I know better. I just know how this works. I give to certain candidates. I don't give to organizations. I get that. But I also know that they lied about the first part. They don't give to candidates. If as many people that made that lie gave to candidates, guess what? I wouldn't be that concerned about it. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't be concerned. But they don't, because they lie. If you give to candidates, that I usually know, and you know what? I can look it up. And I have done that. Now, I'm going to change it up here for a second here. One of my friends, who is an attorney, that should scare you right there. But one of my friends who's an attorney, of the Freedom Center. You probably heard of him. I'm not going to mention his name. You look it up if you want. Was not a Trumper. He didn't like Trump. And so yesterday he went on Facebook to prove that Absolute Truth, which I was just going to talk about, was poppycock. So I want everybody to know, because he spent an hour looking something. He said he spent an hour. I don't believe that. Looking something. He found a reason why not to believe some of the stuff they were talking about. And because he found that, you throw the whole thing away. Now, I would happen to say, I'm glad you're not my attorney if that's how you conduct your investigations. Because if you're going to go with one little item, and by the way, that's not your strong point. If that's what you're going to do, then we have a problem. I really and truly don't get it. Well, I know you do. See, Linda, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Linda does. I know she does. But, whoa, Doug, wait a minute. I got to read this because I got to tell you the truth. I never, ever believed the RNC was pro-Trump. I've never believed that for a day. They were there using his coattails. They weren't there for him. You could see that every day. I thought you should know that. I never, and that's something I'm not saying because after the fact, I've never ever thought I've said for years, I don't give the RNC. They're nothing but a bunch of phony liars. They're hypocrites. I saw what they did, and there's no way. All they did was use his coattails. That's all they did. You can see that with Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, all that. They gladly grabbed his coattails, and then as soon as the election was over and they were declared the winner, they dumped him right away. And I'll tell you what, this is what's going to happen. If we don't get off our dead asses and really start putting the money where our mouth is, our time where we can do it, and stop with the damned excuses, we're going to be in the same place. We are going to be in the same place. No doubt about it. And I'll tell you what, I don't really have enough time. I really don't have enough time. You're right, but only to a degree. Please don't lump all of us in the assumption. Some of us actually a lot of research. And as Christian, you should think more on gut feelings and speak less. I don't know what that has to do. I'm talking about put your money where your mouth is, and are you working to help a candidate get there? Or are you just saying, look, I want to tell you right now, I can't tell you how many people said, well, I'm voting for him. That's enough. If that's enough, then you're one of the problems. Whatever. And yes, some people do the research. But I can tell you right now, I've worked the polls. And the majority of the people that go to the polls don't know who they're voting for. I know that sounds crazy. I've worked the polls. When you could go there and talk to them, and they're, well, I know I got to vote. I haven't spent as much time as I should have. I mean, I hear it all. Because I do that on purpose. That's who I am. I'm very inquisitive about that. So, let's not be defensive here. Let's be offensive and say, because, this is how I live my life. I don't sit there and say, and I'm not picking on anybody, so please, I don't sit there and say, well, I do this and I do that. Every day, I still look at it and I go, what else can I do? Obviously, I'm not doing enough. And I'm doing more than most. So if I'm saying I'm not doing enough, then there's other people out there who obviously aren't doing enough too. And when I look at somebody, and look, when it comes to, I observe. That's why I observe. I do that because that's just what I do. And when I see the people telling me and acting like it, it's, look, you go to Real Republicans, and if I see your name on the list of people that are contributors or someone that says, hey, I want to be involved, at least I know you're there. But the biggest reason, this is why, Joe, and everybody else out there, the reason we lose, the other reason we lose, I already said the reason we lose because we don't put our money where our mouth is. And number two, the reason we lose is because it's not important enough. It really isn't. If we wanted to win, we would do what it takes to win. That's bottom line. But we don't. We say we actually put our own handcuffs on. We put our handcuffs on. And we say, well, there's a reason why, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. We put handcuffs on. And until we stop doing that, we're going to lose. A lot of people think I'm too hard. Oh, well, life goes on. It's not something I really care about. I can't because sometimes you got to do certain things. And I think the one thing that gets me, though, is people telling me that that how I should do what I do when I know in fact that they're doing nothing. I get more advice out there, more free advice from the non-doers than anybody. I can't tell you how much money I would, if I got $1 for every damn suggestion I get for what I can do, not what they can do. If I had that, I would be a wealthy man. But when I was growing up, I didn't want to be a loser. I didn't want to be like the rest of my relatives. And what did I do? I went ahead and I said, I am not going to make excuses for losing. I'm going to do what it takes to win. And that's how I live my life. And there's no one harder on me than me. Because when I feel like I've slacked off, I have a nice chat with myself that you don't want to be a part of, because I beat myself up probably more than most because I think that we should all do more. I just do. Well, that's a good one, Linda. We don't call our politicians on the carpet. We don't go after them and shame them. In Missouri, let's start with Missouri. Josh Hawley stood up. Did we really have a conglomerate of so-called Republicans in the party, the Missouri GOP, that said, way to go, Josh? Did we have a conglomerate of Republicans in the state or the Missouri GOP, whatever, that said, what the hell were you thinking, Roy Blunt? And down the road, Ann Wagner, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Of course we didn't. In fact, Linda, when is the Jefferson County Central Committee going to censure Roy Blunt, Ann Wagner, you name it? When are they going to do that? I'm not on it anymore. I guarantee it's not going to happen because they work so well with these liberals. They do. Yes, the phonies. They're liberals. I don't care. Imagine we start taking out petitions, remove them from office, and they didn't do everything we want them to do. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Linda, you and I both know. People always ask, how come we don't recall? Because there's a few of us that go out there and do things, and the other people say, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to stand in a store for 3 hours or whatever. We go there and we say, we want to change this up. Well, blame Luke DeMeyer too. I agree. We don't. Bottom line is we don't want to win. We really, I remember. Was it Rush talking about this a long time ago? Republicans just don't want to win. We didn't get the majority. Remember when Reagan was president? I think we had majority Senate for a couple years, but we never had majority House until Bill Clinton was president. I mean, we didn't for a long time. And I remember that Rush saying this. He goes, Republicans just don't know how to win, and when they do win, they don't know how to control what they have. They still, no matter what, keep kissing the asses of the media and the rest of it. And I don't know why in the world anybody would. I really don't. We don't march in the streets, but we're too defensive. That's just it. It's like, what? This is why I told people before. I want to read what she said because everybody can't see it. We don't march in the streets about being racially profiled now. Last time NFL was racist, no whites performing. We should be marching. You're right. You know, I got to tell you, the first thing, in fact, I did on Facebook, the first thing I did when I saw it comes up, I wonder if I should do a show like this someday. You know, they have the announcers, the Super Bowl's getting ready to start, and the announcers are standing out there in the middle. There's nobody that close to them, and they got those stupid masks on. Talk about compliant. Talk about brainwashing. You know, there's idiots out there, plenty of them, by the way, on both sides of the aisle, that would be wearing those masks saying, well, you know, I don't want to confront someone. Guess what? That's the biggest reason why conservatives lose, because they don't want to confront anybody. They just don't. They're afraid. They are so afraid if they confront someone that somebody's not going to like them. You know what? We talk about real Republicans. What can we do? Maybe one of the things we should do is have a class, and I'll be glad to teach this one because I lead this one. How not giving a damn if somebody likes you or not. Oh, man. I got that one down. But you know what? I think it's because I'm confident in who I am. I'm not arrogant. I've been called that. But I think people, you know, remember when people called Trump arrogant? Why? That was what the left did. The right does that all the time. They can't wait to call someone arrogant. Well, he's arrogant. No, Trump was confident. Conservatives are so ridiculous sometimes. They actually go by the things that the media calls them. Well, Trump is arrogant. Does Trump have an ego? Hell yes, he's got an ego. He's got ego, and I'm glad he does, because if you don't have an ego at that level, you're Jimmy Carter. You're weak. So, you know, you have to have an ego. I really don't understand that. Why people, they don't get that. They just don't. Wow, I actually have all right, where's my mouse here? There it is. I'm looking at MeWe. Okay, I was reading about Bank of America. Bank of America supposedly is giving away her info. Isn't that nice of them? But, you know, I don't freak out about that stuff, and I'll tell you why. Because these days, you can go to certain sources and you can find out anything and everything you want. It's already out there. And you can think you can hide it all you want, but unless you have it in your safe at home and nobody's been in your house, if you have internet, if you think you're sending emails to somebody or texts to somebody and nobody's looking at them, I'm to a point I really don't give a damn. If somebody wants to look at them, let them look at them. I really couldn't care less. I don't have a damn thing to hide. I just don't. So, all right. There was something else here I wanted to bring up before the break here. Oh, you got a little time for the break. Let me find it here real quick. By the way, where are the men? That's men. That's not female, okay? Men, real ones that got a couple, you know. Where the hell are they? We have a woman she's in her 40s, business owner, who is standing up while the pussified males with their tail between their legs and they don't have anything else. You got a woman standing up there, standing strong, and you got loser, phony Republicans trashing her. Marjorie Greene. She stands up and says the way it is, and she gets trashed. And what do we get? We get phony. We should, you know what? Let me tell you something. We should be storming the Capitol for that crap. If I say that, the FBI be here. By the way, the other day, did you notice They in Lake St. Louis, which for those you aren't here, it's a suburb of St. Louis. The FBI showed up. You know, the phony FBI. They showed up and went and took some. They didn't arrest anybody, but they went there and raided his house and took some stuff with them. You're right. NSA can monitor all. That's exactly what I was saying. That and so many other things. But they raided his house and took stuff with him. Got his wife and kids there, but you know, they don't care. Now, as an ex-cop myself, I'm sorry. You are acting like the SS. Unless you have some very good information. Remember what they did to Roger Stone? Unless you had some really good information. I mean, unless the guy's a killer or something like that. He was at the Capitol. I want to know. I don't care. I want to know what's going on. And I am going to talk about one of the failures of Donald Trump right now. And that is, I understand why. Yeah, I like them too. Yeah, the women. The women are standing up. See, that's just it. But where in the world, who was Trump getting his advice from? Of course, this is one thing I do give him a break on. There's so much hypocrisy in D.C. that it's hard to find anybody. It really is. But I wish he would have gone ahead and picked like someone he knew was one of his cheerleaders. And that would have been, say, Judge Jeanine Pirro or something like that. Somebody to run it that runs with an iron fist. Those are probably, and I'll bet you 10 to 1 if you sat there and talked to him and said, you know, I'm glad I made some good decisions, but there's some I just didn't do that well. But I have to say this, though, and a lot of people understand this. The only time he was out with the people, and you really can't be with the people in the same way, the only time he was out with the people is when he was at the rallies. But when you're in the White House and 99% of these people are establishment hypocrites, and that's all you know, and they're feeding you line after line, you could be the smartest guy on the planet. But he's got to concentrate on other things, so it's really difficult. It just is. Because most of the people, I know for a fact that that it's all through advice. Hey, Mr. President, this is somebody you can trust or whatever. And then you find out that person lied to you and you've already nominated this person to go there. You just don't know. Now, it's the reason I think it's easier for us sometimes is because we're not in the know. We're not in the middle of all that stuff. We don't know everything. Well, I shouldn't say know everything. We know more in other ways. We really do. If I was to give, you know what? If I was to give Trump advice, it's something that I told somebody running for office. And the advice was, don't fall into, they're running for school board. And I thought they thought I was being hard-ass or something like that. Oh, well. But I said, when you run for school board, don't spend all your time making decisions with the school board people without talking to other people. Because when you get in that group, this is what happens. I'm telling you, friends. I had to write a book about this. I really should. How come some of these people that we thought were good turn into what they do? They get with their friends. In D.C., they get with the media, and the media, hey, I'll take care of you. They bullshit them. But they get with their friends and all that stuff, and they think, you know what? I really didn't understand what they meant, and all of a sudden they become friends. They become friends of other people that you don't want them to be friends with. Well, he's not that bad, and it happens to damn near every single one of them. I remember probably 30 years ago, whatever it was, 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace, when he was alive, did an interview with a Democrat who was just elected. And he couldn't wait. He really couldn't wait until, how long is that? He couldn't wait to be a congressman from the Chicago area. He was Latino. So he gets elected, and after he was there for a few months, he did an interview. Funny how it's changed him. But he gets there and he goes, the first thing the leadership did was sit down with him and said, it's not what you think. all those things you want to bring up, yeah, you can bring them up, whatever, but you talk to us first because we make all the decisions. You're basically a peon. That's really what he said. And he said they put him down and said, this is what it is. So if you want to get to a point, you got to work your way up to where we are. That's exactly what happened. And if you look at him now he's just another one of them. That's it. I wonder how much he went back to his constituents and actually talked to them and which one had the greatest. Think about it. If he goes back to D.C., he's a wealthy man. He gets more privileges. He's an elitist. He gets more privileges. He knows what to do with. Why would he go back to that neighborhood? That didn't matter. A lot of people do that. They go back. I mean, they don't go back and they forget them. Look at Maxine Waters. She didn't live in her neighborhood. Doesn't even live in her district. I honestly thought, there was a time, I know better now, but I thought you had to live in your district. For state offices you do, but federal offices you don't. Good morning, Mr. Charles. It's, by the way, Mr. Grodick there is a hardworking man. I've worked with him personally, and I know people that work with him on the county council, and he's a hardworking man. He just is. He's a county councilman. Now, some of you people would say, oh, that's no big deal. You know what? Get over the national crap. Because when this is actually the starting ground is really the county councils and stuff like that. When you find out a lot, you learn about politics. When you can't name your county councilman, but you can name all the senators and representatives of other cities and of other states. If you can do that and not even name your local, then you're not really involved. Because you don't understand that local is everything. My friend Charlie, I could be out at the store. He's there. My son was at the store yesterday. He saw the Speaker of the House there. You're not going to see Ann Wagner at the store. You're not going to see Blaine Lukemeyer at the store, but he saw Bravis Kovo at the store. He's the Speaker of the House in Missouri. In fact, he's my state rep, which I'm waiting for his phone call, by the way. You hear that? Rob, you hear that? I'm waiting for your phone call. Anyway, that's the point. So if you're not getting involved like Charlie did, and Charlie's a hard worker. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in your community and people don't even know it. It's a great place, isn't it, Charlie? I mean, you make decisions on people's personal lives every day. And it's really sad that we don't know that, but we should. And by the way, Charlie is one that wants you to know who he is. But there are a lot of them that don't, except just like the rest of them, during election time. If it's election time, let me tell you right now, they don't want it. They don't. If it's not election time, it's like, look, I'll talk to you in 2 years. That's what they do. That's exactly what most politicians do. They really don't want to hear from you until it's time to get your money, but especially your vote. And a lot of them aren't even concerned about your money. Why? Because they're going to sell it out anyway. They're going to find a lobbyist. The lobbyist is going to fund their campaign. Therefore, they don't need your money. And, I'll tell you the truth. Being president of Real Republicans, I give a whole lot more attention to people that actually do stuff with their time and money than I do people that tell me how to do it. I do. I don't think you're serious. If you're really not truly involved, I don't think you're really serious. I think you're blowing smoke up my butt. And frankly, I don't like that. I don't like people. It's phony. You got to do more. This is not. Real Republicans is not just a social club. You want a social club? Go somewhere else. I mean, this is about doing what's right for ourselves and our country. But especially on this level, in fact, I'm going to give you a little. For those of you that don't understand, you may county council, no big deal. There are things that go on in the county council that you don't even know. Most people don't even know. But Charlie would love to have a couple other people on the council that he could vote with so he had the majority back. Because right now he really doesn't. Because Charlie will tell you, and it hasn't happened to him, but some of these people, they get elected. And here's how it works. They get elected. And all of a sudden, they sit a little taller. Hey, I'm important. I got elected. My IQ went up 50 points on election day. People voted for me and they said, I want you to be my God. Now, you may think that, but that's what a lot of them think. And Charlie, I'm right. And you aren't one of them. You're down to earth. I give you credit for that. But there are some of them that's like, I am your councilman, and you will address me as such. So anyway, but that's where you start. I'm on the school board, and what do I get from people all the time? Well, I don't know if I'm qualified. Let me tell you about Mr. Charlie here, okay? Charlie is one of us. Charlie, I hope I can say this, Charlie. Charlie is a union machinist. You hear that? A union machinist. He's not a big fan of the union, but he's done well with them financially. That's that. I'm not on what he makes or whatever, but he's done fairly well with them. But he is a guy like you and I. We can sit back, have a beer, whatever. He's a good, and I'm not trying to get on your good side, Charlie. I already am. But anyway, Charlie's a good guy. And his IQ, he doesn't think, I shouldn't say that way, he doesn't think his IQ went up 50 points. He says, hey, thanks for electing me. I appreciate it. I'll do my best. That's where you want it to be. But then there's other people, like I said, they get elected and they go, do you realize that I had more votes than everybody else? I'm a star. People in my town district love me. No, people in your district, most people don't even know who the hell you are. I think Charlie was I think you're on the board when I go up there, and I used to have fun with that, especially with the Waller there. Why is it that so many people up there think that your IQ went on 50 points? Just because you got elected. And that's what they do. But they do that because of what we do. So anyway, back to what I said. All right, I know. Everybody's going, but what about let me see, where are we here? Maybe we'll do a break, and then I want to get into absolute truth a little bit here. It's stuff that we know. But by the way, it's already been nullified as poppycock by the left, by the fact checkers. Yes, the fact checkers. And just so you know, so since the fact checkers, of course, the fact checkers are only against us, but and Trump related especially, since the fact checkers have already said that there's nothing we can be concerned about here, that it's all poppycock and the rest of it. Good morning, Mr. Russell. How are you? See, there's a man, Buddy Russell. He's the mayor of Hillsborough, and he cares about his community, and he works hard for his community. Now, Buddy, since you're here, I like to ask elected officials, anybody that's elected right now that's watching or whatever, did you think, when you went into it, did you think you had all the answers when you first got in? Because as far as I know, pretty much every damn position out there is OJT. Yeah, you may learn some things in other ways, but it's on-the-job training. You get there, but you have the right attitude. And you learn from other people. Look, when I'll tell you how I spent my life. I rarely went to a class on the things that I'm really good at. See, Buddy got there. He said, you know what? I know I can do a good job here. You have the integrity, and that's where it all starts, Buddy. It's about integrity, and you have it. But you have the integrity. You go, you know what? I'm just going to take this on. And basically, and this is something people don't get to, you're a decision maker. You are a decision maker. Buddy. By the way, Buddy has no desire to go any further with it, and he's not he's not a stair climber. He's not saying, "Well, I'm going to go higher." And people may have said that to him. I even asked him about running for county exec, and he said, "I don't know what kind of drugs you're on, Dave, but stop it." But bottom line is he's there with the right reason, and it's about making decisions. And I'll bet you 10-1. I don't want to get you in trouble here, buddy, because I know I'll bet you 10-1 you would have never shut this down. I'll bet you 10-1 you would have, you would have been in position to say, cut the crap, health department. You're trying to ruin our county. I mean, do we get that now? Hell no. I can't believe the building that we help pay for in Jefferson County, that we have to wear a mask to go inside. It's ridiculous. It really is. And we're I'm sorry, we're a mask order, which is stupid anyway. And they extended it and they use this phony excuse. I'm gonna, here I was going to take a break, and I will, but this mask garbage, it's ridiculous. And it's a mask order, and the only thing that does is give some insecure people a lot of muscle, thinking they could tell other people to stay out of their business. You know what? You don't have to tell me to stay out of your business. There's not a business out there that I really have to be at. Not one. But you know what? How many people run around? You go to this, and I've seen you. There's some people I know. I remember Wendy and I went to Sam's one day, and there's one of her friends. I didn't recognize her because she had the mask on. She goes, "Oh, there's Barb over there." And Barb had a mask on. Well, I just didn't want to. It was like, we're walking around. What are we? Sliced bread? There's nobody chasing me around. If they're going to chase me around, I'd look at him and say, "You know what? If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to walk out the door and I'm done." I don't need their business. There's not a damn store out there that I need to go to. In fact, the other day, for you people in Jefferson County, we went to Karsh's. Karsh's, you don't have, if you want to wear a mask, that's fine. Why? I still don't know, but if you wear a mask, you go in there. But there's not one person there telling me that you have to wear a mask. Not one word. And, I guess I scare people or something like that, but when I go in places, I'm waiting for somebody to say something. I really am, because I get a kick out of it. Because I actually think, and I mean this, I think most people wear a mask because they don't like the ugliness they see in the mirror. Now, what do I mean by that? The weakness that they have. Because you're called respectful. When you have, look, first of all, I'm telling you right now, the signs on the door, the signs are just there, that's it. And we walk in, and I'm not being disrespectful. It's just that they have to put the sign there. Otherwise, they said forget it. Otherwise, the nutcase from health department may go say, "Where's your sign?" And there's very few gutty people out there to stand up to them and say, "Kiss my butt." I'm not putting a sign up there because it's a mask order. What are you going to do? There's nothing they can do, all these businesses. But, they're afraid. You don't have to. There's nothing. The sheriff's not going to come and get you. None of that. I went to Texas Longhorn. Texas, yeah. And almost every pussy in there was wearing a mask. I didn't wear a mask. By the way, did they put the salt shakers and stuff back out there? Wendy and I went there one time, as right after it started, and they did this. We're sitting down, and I love they have good steaks. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, instead of giving us a ketchup bottle or salt shaker, they start throwing this plastic and all this stuff with salt and ketchup in it. And if anybody knows me, I love pepper. I cover everything with, I cover a lot of stuff I have with pepper. And I'm sitting there going through my 10th one and said, this is ridiculous. And I decided that day, it's like, we're not coming back here. I like it. That's how I like it. But it's stupid to sit there and tear this when you can pick it up and you're done. But that's the kind of crap we were doing. And I'm sorry, if they care enough about me as a customer, they're going to have to deal with it. That's it. And If they're afraid, and the thing is, if they're really truly afraid of the virus or whatever, I think they have issues anyway. But if they are, you do what you want to do. But if you are not going to stand up to bullies, don't expect everyone else to stand up to bullies. There's so much in real life that we can learn from this that we don't. So, all right, let me see. Let me find something here. Let me see. Let's do radio show, and then I gotta take a break here. Gotta take a break. We'll do something that really and truly offends Facebook. I love doing stuff that offends Facebook. So we're gonna do that in a second here. Get everything set up and stay on attention, my friends. And we'll be right back.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
All right, there you go. That doesn't get you. I don't know what does. It's. I'll tell you what. I really don't know how people call
I
themselves
spent 25
Americans
years
and
researching
be
men
strong
living to
and
110 or
watch.
100.
When I tell you what, one of the things I like to do is I like to go back and talk about all the reasons. Take care, buddy. All the reasons why it's important. On 9/11, we were attacked. We were attacked. And our nation kind of got together. But if you noticed back then, the Democrats were being obstructionists too, and some Republicans as usual. What have we done about it? On November 3rd, 2020, we were attacked. We were attacked by other countries. What are you talking about, Dave? We were attacked because they attacked our election. Why in the world? Why in the world? And I want to put something together that Mike Lindell had. But why in the world are other countries involved in elections? I'll tell you how. Because we have, as conservatives, have done the absolute worst job on the planet of electing people that truly represent us. We've done the worst. We have elected people that represent the left. That's what we've done. Now, we can sit there and say, well, I didn't know, whatever. You know what? But you still do it. Why is Roy Blunt there? And I'll go a step farther. Next year, he's up for re-election. And what do conservatives say? Well, somebody needs to do something. Are you willing to help? Well, no, I'm not going to help. I could tell them what to do. I'm good at telling others what to do, but I'm not going to help them. No, I'm not going to. If let's say Buddy left. Buddy wants to run, or Charlie. Let's use two elected officials right now. Let's say Charlie said, you know what, I'd love to run against, Charlie be great. I'd love to run against him. Charlie's not rich. He's one of us. Charlie, we want you to go the next year without making any money. Of course, he's retired, but let's just say he's working, he's not retired yet. We want you to go the next year and run for Senate. Yes, run for Senate. And we'll give you $5 or something like that, whatever. Whatever. If that's the most I'll at least do that much. But it's important that you win. It's important that you beat them. And it doesn't matter if you don't have income coming in for next year. That doesn't matter. Because it's more important for you to do this. Now, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to vote for you. I want you to do everything else, but I'm going to vote for you. That's what conservatives do. And when I bring up about being part of the solution with real Republicans, I know people say, why don't you stop it? Because I do this stuff, and the people close that know me, I don't do this for my own success. I don't give a damn about that. What I do this for is for the success of what we're trying to accomplish. We cannot ask somebody to run an Ann Wagner seat or somebody's seat, wherever it is. And just like Dino from Pennsylvania earlier said, he feels like I do. Get off your asses and help. There should be double the people that were there last. I mean, it was a decent crowd. Please understand, but there should be double and triple of the people there. And some of them are go, well, I've heard this before. And they'll go on to somebody else because conservatives go to someone that really sound good. But they don't, they don't want anything. I'll say this again and again and again and again. My friend Paul Kurtman served his country. He's a Marine. Served his country, went to Iraq, did everything you asked him to do. Was uncomfortable many times, did all kinds of stuff in the military. He comes out, he serves his country as a state rep. Worked his butt off because he realizes that conservatives really aren't the kind of people who want to help. He knew that. He was a Tea Party guy. He got up in front of him. He was at Tea Parties I was involved with. He came to ours down in Springfield. You get up there and you say the great speech and you're done. And the conservatives walk off and they go, hey, when's the next Tea Party, man? This is cool. I love our country. They don't do a damn thing. We got to stop it. Every person, some people, I know some of the people don't listen that used to listen. And I guess maybe this doesn't entertain them. I really, until we're successful, and I guess I need to get up and sing and dance. That's scary right there. But I guess I need to do that to get more people involved and doing what they need to do, and that's it. I at this point don't know where to go with a lot of this stuff. I really don't. And the very people, and thank you, Linda. I'm glad they're out again. That's a personal. I asked Linda at Texas Roadhouse if they have. It's not Longhorns Roadhouse, but anyway, Texas Roadhouse. If they had the salt shakers and the ketchup and stuff on the table. You know what I don't understand still? Anybody got the answer to this? Why in the world are places like McDonald's and I don't go there hardly that often, I haven't in a long time, but Wendy's, all these ones that have indoor dining, why is it closed? I never understood that. Why is it closed? In most of Missouri, I've been to a few where they're open. I mean, most of them are closed. In the St. Louis area, they're basically all closed. We're in no mask. We're in a basically mask free. It's not a big deal in Jefferson County. And why are they closed? Why are the dining rooms closed? First of all, I don't like living. I don't like eating in my car. When Wendy and I when we went to D.C. and down to Florida, we found a couple places. In fact, as I told you before, we went to hotels, and what do the hotels do? They didn't have, instead of having a nice breakfast layout, which a lot of them do, and some of them are pretty decent, a lot of them is garbage. But what do we get? We got a paper bag with a muffin, a bottle of water, and a granola bar. Wow, amazing. Jim Means says, the virus is raging here in Stafford. We're up to 52 deaths now. That's 34 per 100,000. You had 83 deaths per 100,000 here in Jeffco. You are doing much better at helping us reach herd immunity. There you go. I ask people all the time, why am I not dead yet? Why? I want to know why I'm not dead yet. Anybody else who runs around without a mask, why am I not dead? I don't know. Wendy, I got to kick out Wendy because she said, I may have it. I was laughing at her. Because she had, because all of a sudden people start coughing or something like that. And immediately, the first thing people think of these days, this is how good brainwashing works. That's how good their brainwashing works. Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? First off, Jim, let me tell you right now about Jefferson County. If the so-called COVID deaths, I know for a fact of a few people in Jefferson County whose parents died, and it had nothing to do with COVID. But the people in charge made sure it was. Mercy Hospital, the Catholic hospitals, who love money, by the way, are the first ones in line to say, that's a COVID death. That way we get more money. They're the first one to do it. Probably fearing giving into the public, if someone in my town goes against the norm, they are blasted online mercilessly. Employees are shamed online. I suspect they're trying to go, and Christy, that's when you got to look at them and say, liberals do that. Liberals do that. Just know, people can shame me all day long. I really don't give a damn. I really don't care. I've walked off jobs. People know the story. I had a job and this is what's cool. I believe in karma. And when that happened, and I walked off the job and said, screw it, I don't want my money. You can stick it up your behind. I didn't care. And when I did that, later, I think they felt bad because I was right. They came back and said, hey, we owe that to you. We're going to pay that. And actually, they bought more stuff later on. But for a while, they didn't want to. Sherry, you're right. How about stressing good health? Eating right, exercise, and fresh air for the children, not sitting in front of a computer and wearing a nasty mask. By the way, I'm a grammar snob. 1R. Sorry, I had to do that. I love her. She's a sweetheart. But no, you're right. Wearing it. I asked my grandchildren yesterday. We hate wearing a mask. And in fact, I just heard about this. Did you hear about the, was it Zumwalt? They were telling they had to wear a mask. One of the school systems didn't wear a mask, and they all took their mask off. I said something to my middle school granddaughter yesterday, and I said, hey, why don't you work it out? Because she said none of the kids like it. I'm sure there's one or two there that do. But why don't you just, everybody take it off and say, we're not going to wear a mask, send us home. They can't send you all home. And by the way, the liberals would love that. They would love that. Oh, did you hear, by the way? Ayanna Pressley, I think that's how you say her name. That nutcase part of the squad. She doesn't understand us. She doesn't understand why it's important. I mean, why we get upset if they say 16-year-olds should be allowed to vote. Yeah, they're in high school. Yeah, I think the voting's too lax anyway. How many people agree with me here? If you have been living on, let's put it this way. If you've been living on welfare for more than a certain amount of time, I think you lose your voting rights. I really do. I understand where somebody, the husband leaves, whatever, but, after a while, hey, it's time to stop the crap. But I don't like my relatives going to the polls, voting, so they get more money. I don't like that. Why are people that can control what they get, free money, their welfare, why is it that they get a right to vote? We're paying the bills, and I brought this up to liberals. And they go, well, because they deserve that. They're still human. And I used to say that's fine. So let me do it this way. If that's the case, then how about at your house, when you get your paycheck, let's say you get $1,000 a week and you got 3 kids. Everybody gets a vote on how you spend the money. Now, how would you like that? You got 3 kids, you got mom and dad, there's 2 of you. And the 3 kids turn around and they go, wait a minute. We want games this week. We don't want, forget about paying the rent, forget about all that stuff. We want games. And we have every right to vote for it. It really is the same thing. And when they look at me like I have 3 heads, when I only have 2, and they look at me like, what are you, stupid or what? It's like, no, you are, because you're telling me that the very people living on welfare, living off of you and me, have a right to make decisions about what we're doing? In most cases, by the way, I will tell you right now, most people on welfare, not all, are on welfare because they've made poor decisions. Why are we giving them so many more decisions to make, more chance of bad decisions? Why? I brought that up about food. Why are we giving them so much money every month to go buy food? Now you're going, well, they have to eat. Yes, they do. But back in the 50s, I think it was ended in the 50s, maybe early 60s, they used to, what was it they called it? I always forget that. But you used to go to a place and get your food, your cheese and milk and all that. That's where you went. They gave you the essentials. I don't like my hard-earned money going for T-bone or ribeye steaks for somebody else who isn't working. I don't like that. Do you? If you do, then you're a lot nicer than I am. I don't like it when you go to the store and they buy themselves bags of Doritos and potato chips, stuff that I think is bad for you to begin with. Do I eat them sometimes? Yes. For some people, it's a meal. I'm hungry, Mom. Well, there's a bag of Doritos in there. I'm busy. I'm on the computer or I'm watching TV. You're right. That's right. I'm glad you brought that up. I love it when I see someone that's on welfare and they're a really big load. I mean, I'm sorry. I know people don't like to hear that, but they are. They don't eat correctly. And when they do, they eat way too much, whatever. I don't. If somebody wants to do it, they want to pay their own their thing. I don't really care. But my point is that when you got somebody on welfare and they're eating better than all of us combined, we have a problem. In order to get welfare, if you are able-bodied, you should be required to attend job training and placement as well as budgeting classes. There should be at least 2-year limit. You're right. Why do you get food stamps, WIC, free lunches, breakfast, and then food pay? Jerry, I talk about that all the time. All the time. The food pantries. I always hear about the food pantries. And I look at that and I go, all you are doing, it's like a drug addict. People go, no, there are commodities. Thank you. I always forget that. But let's talk about the food pantries. You're getting all this money. You're getting $400 or $500. First of all, you're not spending your money correctly when you go to the store. If that's the case, that's not what it is. I can't tell you, people. And for those of you out there living in Wonderland, Dream World, they take those EBT cards and they sell them that month. When you get $600 in EBT, you go out there and you put it on the open market. It's like drugs. I'll sell you my $600 value EBT card for $300. And they do it all the time. Now you're going, wait a minute. They can't do that. That's not there for that. Well, it's like giving people money that they don't know how to handle. They do a bad job. What do they do with that $300? Why do you get so many big drug addicts in the poor sections? That's why. Exactly. If you get food stamps, why can't you get... You know what? We were poor. I will say one thing. I went to... Well, wait a minute. You got to watch what you bring to school. I remember when I did go to... At least my mom did this. There wasn't a lot went well in my house, but at least she did this. And she would make us... God knows I had more bologna sandwich than I ever knew what to do with. Sometimes it had cheese on it. But I had bologna. I had a bologna sandwich, a cookie, and potato chips. That's usually what I had. And I drank milk. But these days, I'll never forget it. In fact, one of my relatives went in the summertime. This is in the summertime. They had somebody drop off food for the kids to eat in the summertime. I swear to God. I guess they couldn't feed their own children. No, this is grandma and grandpa doing this, and they're making money off of it too, by the way. Oh, yes. People go, isn't that great they're raising their children? No, the reason they're raising their children is because they didn't raise their own children, and their own children end up being a disaster. So as it goes on, the next level, they're bad, and you're thinking, well, that's great. At least you're doing it. Why would you want unsuccessful people raising kids again? This is the problem we have in those systems. I can write a book about it. But we keep doing it. To replace child welfare with direct money payments. Why does that have... No, that isn't. Wait a minute, Jim. Here's the problem I got with it. You are asking people who are... who have made some bad life decisions. They go to the store and they go and they buy potatoes. They buy all the garbage they can, stuff that I wouldn't even buy, or if I do, it's rare. They buy it all the time. They buy it. And you know what's funny? When I was a single dad, in fact, I said to my son yesterday, my son loves to cook, and I think he gets it from me. And I haven't cooked much in the last few years, but when I was raising my son, I did not want to repeat the mistakes that my family had made before. So when we were by ourselves once a week. This is true. Talk about crap food. But anyway, once a week, we would stop at Church's Chicken. That was our time. That was kind of our special time. We'd go there and get a box of chicken, and we'd eat it. That's what we had for supper. But every other day, I cooked. I didn't go and I didn't buy all the processed crap. I cooked. I got another one for you. I didn't buy soda. Now, do you know how many people on EBT cards, they don't give their kids juice and milk, maybe some. They buy them soda. They buy them those drinks. I've never had one, but the brain ones, the ones that make them high, whatever it is. They buy them that garbage. That's what they buy them. Your sister gets $1,200 a month. She sells them. See, am I right, Christy? I know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Christy knows. Look, the people that know, and am I right about this, Christy? I'm glad you're there. The people that know that system could run it better than anybody in it. They know every nook and cranny. I'm telling you what. I'll bet you 10-1 she gets she gets assistance on her utilities. She gets assistance on so many other things, and they get free welfare. They get free not welfare. They get free health care. And what does she do with the money that you give her for food? She sells it for 50 cents on the dollar. That's how it works. You know, Jim, I think you're a pain in the ass sometimes. Jim says the welfare department needs to hire you to monitor food purchases. No, we'll get Michelle Obama to do it. There you go. I do try to be realistic. You know, I'd rather have my kids eating pizza more than Hostess cupcakes. By the way, I ate a lot of those when I was younger. Oh God, Christy, you love my story about churches. I'm glad you're bringing this up. This brings up old memories. Of course, I don't know anything. I'm just a rich conservative. Oh, isn't that funny? Okay, let's talk about it. When I was a kid, now some of you people know this, so bear with me. For you new people, you got to hear this. Sherry, you'll love this. When I was a kid, on every other weekend, my drunken dad and mom, we'd get in the car. We get in the car and we drive to Festus, which seemed to be years away when we lived in the city. We drive to Festus, and my mom and dad would stop at my sister's house and drop us off in Festus, and then they go down to the local bar and spend all their money, especially after they got their monthly checks. So they go down there, and my dad was a smoker and a drinker. He'd go down there and spend his money. He'd come back and then pick us up. And, they'd spend the night, because they'd be so drunk they couldn't drive. They'd spend the night. That was our weekend with our cousins. That's what we thought. Actually, nieces and nephews, not cousins. But anyway, we'd spend the night there. In the morning, we'd leave, and we'd go back. Well, late morning. It was after church was up, and they'd make sure my mom knew all the churches that we could stop at. Sound familiar, Christy? Knew all the churches we could stop at, and she would use us as a prop and after taking the very money that they made poor decisions with. This is my mother. God bless her. You know, she's been gone for a long time, but this is how she knew to survive. But they would stop and use it. My mom would go in and use us as props. Use us as props to get money or food. And the churches knew not to give her money because they'd seen her before. And so they would give her food. A basket of food. You know all the stuff that you put in baskets normally you don't like? We had more cherries in those things. And nobody likes canned cherries or something because we used to, that was all we had to eat. So we would actually open up a can of cherries. And they didn't have sugar in them, so we'd take the sugar we had and put them under, and that's what we ate for food sometimes. But we would do that. You're right. People who need food should go to commissary where they get. That's what they used to do. Commodities. Many have raised in the system. The system pushes this. Absolutely. That's why. That's why my whole. Not all my family. Most of them are totally different than I am. I've never taken a welfare check. I wouldn't even. I'd rather honestly. I'd probably rather shoot myself than even do it. There are certain things when I was growing up. I said I am not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going, and I won't. So let me see. My sister's saying, but the problem is my 14-year-old niece is now, yeah, you got it. They're a con artist in the training. Kids are smart. If the parents pull cons, so will the children. That's where they learn from. I had my relative's son. He actually came on here and caused trouble one time. His grandson, not son, grandson. He came on here, and he hated Trump, and he loves face diapers. And he started getting on and being a little jackass, so I don't put up with his crap. I don't put with anybody's crap. I blocked him, and that was it. Well, he got mad at me before then because he was, first of all, he spent 4 years in high school, barely got half the credits, never graduated. The only place he worked at is Taco Bell and the rest of them. I was really thinking about helping him out with my business, but when I'd see his Facebook, on his Facebook, this is what they do. And Christy, I bet you can relate to this. What they do is they get on Facebook, and he was a big pot. He thought pot was wonderful. Pot was the magic drug. Pot was going to get him everywhere because pot calmed him down. That's what he said. And so he would put pot pictures on his Facebook, and I said, hey, that's not a smart move because employers are going to look at that and they're going to say, this guy's a drug addict. And what did I get from him? It's going to be legal someday, and because of that, it's not his problem. It's the employer's problem. Now, being an employer myself, I found that rather amusing. No, because if I look at your Facebook and that's what I see, and I don't hire you, sounds to me like it's your problem. But when you show that, because they know this is how it works, for those of you people who don't know much about welfare, believe me, Christy, you and I can hold the class on. I can tell right now. There's so much that these people know they can get away with. I mean, here's another one. Hey, Christy, does this sound familiar? When they would go out, okay, they got free health care and free pharmaceuticals. They would go out and they would be in pain. They're always in pain. And that's part of the con. So they go to their doctor, and I need something for pain. And so the doctor's like, okay, fine, here's some OxyContin, here's whatever they give. I don't know, I'm not a pain guy. I got married, that's as much pain. So anyway, but what she would do is she would have enough for herself and much more to sell to their friends. Oh, yes. Let me see. My sister calls it medicine. She needs to get level. She says she expects employers to align with her thinking in order to... Exactly right. Christy, you got it. You are one of the few people out there. Am I right, though? Most people don't realize this. They think we're being mean when we say this, don't they? Well, somebody could do something for the kids. You know what the best thing you could do for those kids? I'm telling you, as somebody that grew up with that garbage. Take them away. These people are making bad decisions. They're teaching someone else to even be better at making bad decisions. I was odd. I was extremely odd. I didn't go for that. Take them away. Let me tell you what I did, as many of you people know already. When I was a kid, I was smart enough. I was lucky. I was born with a brain. Don't have much of a left, but I was born with a brain. And I actually sought out. And if you ask some of these kids, they will agree with this. I had friends. I would go to their house, and I was part of their family because I was ashamed of my own family. And Sherry, I promise I won't get broke up here. It's really hard sometimes. But I was ashamed of my own family, so I would go out because she called me Big Softy. Don't you ever do that again. But anyway, I wanted to be somewhere else. I was embarrassed for people to come to my place. I had friends and I went everywhere else. That's exactly what I did. And so those other families that I adopted were those were my families. I never, it was really interesting. I've told this before. Some of the people in my neighborhood didn't even know I lived there because I didn't want to be there. I had friends I had friends that I would go be with, spend the night with. We hang out, whatever it was away from where I was. You are right. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because this is where conservatives are really, really stupid. I got to be honest with you. Look, I don't like to call conservatives stupid, but they really are. When it comes to solutions, they only want the solution that makes them feel good. Conservatives have a lot of liberal in them because feel good is so important to them. It really is. And it makes a conservative feel good if you have the war on drugs. Now, I know some people look at me and say, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. Do you know how many conservatives think that if you just take away the drug, you're fixing the problem? I really don't think a lot of people get it. Conservatives, let me teach you a lesson. The reason they do the drugs is because they're escaping. What are they escaping? The very thing that you don't want them to do. Not the drugs, the bad decisions, the having children when you're 13, 14, 15. We can go on and on. And don't give me this they should know better crap, because I'll tell you right up front, I know the answers to most of this because I grew up with it. Because we have given them the excuses to go ahead and continue doing what they're doing. We have allowed them to go ahead. You're right. We got to start breaking these cycles. There's so much more. You're right. Here's one. First of all, here's another one. You got schools that are run by liberals. And they just say, well, we'll just go ahead and poo-poo and that's it. If somebody is on welfare, they need to go to parenting classes. They need to do something, and to sit their fat asses at home watching TV, knowing what's on Price is Right or the whatever it is, the judge shows. The judge shows are big with those people. You know why a lot of liberals watch the judge shows? Because they watch them, or Jerry Springer, that's another one. They watch them because, wow, their life is worse than mine. But as I've told some people, and I'm sure some will agree with me here, sometimes you need to kick some ass. You need to get behind and stick your foot where the sun doesn't shine and say, get off of yours. You are not going to be here and sit on there and get a check every month. If you drive in certain neighborhoods, I mean, I've thought about doing this, drive in certain neighborhoods and do a Facebook Live and show you in the summertime the porches, and don't be rude here, the porches that you go to, because these people do what they do to survive. You're thinking, and this is what they've learned. And Christy, I think you would agree with it. A lot of them have learned this. Not necessarily, I don't know where you came from. It'd be fun talking to you about it. But the point is that a lot of these people learn this behavior. That's survival. That's all they know. If you grew up, like my dad was a complete drunk, a raving maniac drunk that loved to beat the hell out of my mother. Now I won't tear up on that because I couldn't stand the clown. And I don't, yes, no unlimited choices. Mom is high in bed and babies wonders away in winter and diaper brought home by police repeatedly. Yeah. Hey, I worked in those neighborhoods. I know. There's no consequences. No, you know what the consequences are? You drive to the nation's capital, and then you're ushered by the police because you are looked down on. You haven't done anything, or a little bit's happened, and don't even get me started. I'm telling you, it just is so bad. It really is. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But this is where every person watching this. Well, Sherry, and this is something I think I could have been much more, in fact, I will say this. I could have been much more successful if I had good parenting. There's a lot of mistakes I made because of the fact of the bad decisions I made. Now, I wasn't a jail guy or anything like that. I wasn't a criminal. I did stupid things. And people just crack me up too. In fact, if you want to look down on me, let me tell you how much of a thief I was and what it took to make me not do it again. I went to the store on Hampton and Chippewa there, and I longed Arlen's. It was Arlen's. I think it was Arlen's. And I walked in there, and I had a car. I was 16 years old, and I'd never stolen anything. And I said, I'm going to do this. I want to see if I can get away with it. It was dumb. So I go in there, and I need spark plugs for my car. I go in there, and I can't put the whole box in there, so I take them out of the box. I stuff them in my pockets. I wonder if I can get away with this. And I was a cute little guy. I think it was 16. I was only like 5'1". Yeah, I'm not as ugly. I was cute then. You know how it goes. But anyway, I put it in my pocket, and I'm getting ready to walk out the door. Got to be honest, scared out of my mind that somebody's going to catch me. That right there should have told me don't do this. As I'm walking out, some woman says, "Young man," and my life ended. I thought, oh my God, it's over. I'm going to go to jail. And I turn around, and there was a lady on a stage not too far from the door. He says, "You're a cute little guy." I'm 16 years old. Looked like I was 10. And so anyway, I got these stolen spark plugs in my pocket. And she calls me. She goes, "We want you to help us with this." So here I am. There's cute little dumbass 16-year-old. I get on the stage, and I couldn't even tell you what it was because I was freaking out. I'm thinking everybody is looking at me. They're going to watch store security come up there and haul my happy ass to jail. That's what I'm thinking. So we went through whatever she was doing, and I'm smiling. I was smiling and I was ready to cry. I really was. And after it was over, she says, "Let's thank this young man for helping." And I'm sitting there going, good, it's over. She gives me a pen and pencil set. I'll never forget this. And I walked out the door. And when I walked out that door, I swore I would never do that again. That's all it took. That was a close call. That doesn't happen for everybody. So for you people out there, don't try it because you may get caught. I actually, one time, it's funny, I worked security. When I was a cop, I worked security catching shoplifters. It was really interesting because some people thought they were really smart. And, it was kind of fun watching. You could almost tell who they were all the time. You could almost always tell. But they walk in the store and you could go after them. I'm not going to talk about that really. But anyway, back to what where we were before. I had to have fun with that. But you grow up and you do stupid things. And I would bet, Sherry, I bet your husband and I would have a great talk about this because when I was young, I did everything. And it sounds like he did. And this is why I get so mad at people because they're kids. Who mows? I see the parents mowing the grass instead of the kids mowing the grass. They got some, 12, 13-year-old who's big enough. Look, I was big enough to do it at 10. And we didn't have a power mower. We had one of the push mowers. And what I would do is, let me tell you, when the grass grew, I made money. When the snow fell, I made money. And I did everything I could. And the people in the neighborhood knew I was going to be there. They could depend on me. And they'd say, "Hey, snow shovel's over there. Go for it." And I'd go over there and they'd give me a couple bucks. I'd shovel their snow. I wasn't big enough to do much of anything, but I did it anyway. It worked. And then when the grass grew, I used one of those lawnmowers, like I said, with the spinning wheel. You know, the spinning blade. That's how I mowed grass. But I didn't want to, at that point in my life, I didn't want other people's money. But you know what? In fact, I don't know if I've told this story, and I'm bringing it up for a reason, because I love what Sherry and Christy are talking about here, because it's really important people know that you're not helping these people. You really aren't helping them. I tell everybody all the time. And you know who tells me I'm wrong all the time? Liberals. What would you know? Thinking I'm some rich guy or something like that. It's like, because I grew up with it. But one time when I was selling newspaper subscriptions, I went to one house. There were two stories with this. I went to one house. I went to all these houses, and I was like the salesman of the week. I was, 11 years old, whatever it was, and I sold it. And so anyway, I got a nice fat check back then, like $35 for what I did. That was a lot of money back then. I never had a check before. So stupidly, only happened once. I try not to do stupid things more than once. That's not true. It works. Stupidly, I went to my dad and said, "Can you cash this check?" And he said, "Sure." And he cashed that check. And it bought him a lot of beer. I think he gave me $2 out of it. That's all you need. Yes. That's what he did. After that, I learned my lesson. I never gave him my check again. Back then I found a place not too far away, and I actually told a druggist guy back when they had the drugstores, and I said, "Hey, can you cash his check?" And he said, "Why don't you have your dad do it?" And I told him, he goes, "That's ridiculous." And he cashed my check for me. And one of the story about the newspaper subscriptions, I remember when I had I was really good at it. By the way, I shined shoes, I did it all, but I was really good at selling the subscriptions. And one time my boss came to me and says, they went back and checked one of yours, and they said, you didn't sell them anything. And I said, "Yes, I did." And I was like in tears, like, "Yes, I did." And they went back, and the wife was there, and the wife and husband were there. And I went to the door, and I said, "They said I didn't do it." And I guess it was the husband that said, "No, you didn't." And the wife said, "I did." And they found out I didn't lie. But I was like in tears. I was even honest back then. So, anyway, the problem is fixed, then they aren't needed. Exactly what Trump was doing. That's why we voted for Trump. That's why but this is where we failed Trump. We have to look at our failures. It's the old expression, I used to respect Dr. Phil. I don't that much anymore. I think he's gone I think he's been in Hollywood too long. But if you don't acknowledge your problem, you can't fix it. And I believe in that. I believe in that strongly. And the problem is, a lot of people say they acknowledge the problem, but they don't do anything with it. They don't do what they need to do. And until we acknowledge the problem of what conservatives do, and I know people they don't want somebody to talk like that to them. But if that's the case, go to a hero and on another show, and he'll say nice things, and he won't talk bad about the conservatives, except behind their back. Hey, I do it to their face. I've had people come to me and say, I don't really need to do anything. I said, then what the hell you complaining about then? If you're not doing anything, what do you? Boy, they don't like that. They don't like it when I point out that issue. But I'm not doing it to make them feel bad. I'm doing it like, well, what difference does it make to you? If you really don't give a damn, the only thing you care about is voting. You think that's going? How is only voting solving? In fact, who was it just a little bit ago said the reason we lose is who was it said that earlier? Is because we play honestly. We're not willing to do what it takes to win. That's the key. Well, you're right. We did. And sometimes I want to get a lot of people like myself together so we can talk about it and we can come up with the answers instead of complain about it. Because I know sometimes my complaint is you know what? You want to be compliant? Go to the website and be compliant. Put your name down and put your money down where it counts. And don't pray for me, please. It's an issue I have with religion. It's funny. I have I told you I used to adopt other families, and there's a young man. He's older than I was. He was a year older than me, but I ended up going to a prep school, like I've already described. That's too really busy. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second here. But I went to a prep school, and I just never forget that that I was the basketball manager. Remember how little Weasley managers were? But even when I was a manager, I was practicing basketball because I was learning from the coaches because I liked sports. But I remember that parent, Gary, his name was Gary Shimmer. Gary Shimmer's dad would pick me up at my house. Not house, flat above a warehouse. That's where we lived at the time. He would pick me up, and we go to the game and come back. But he was nice enough to do that. If he wouldn't have done that, I don't know how I'd have gotten there. But he was nice enough to do that. And so Gary, I went to the same high school Gary did, and I was the manager of the team for a couple years. He was on B team and varsity, but we've kept in touch, and that's been way too many years. Been 50 years, I guess. Yeah, more than that. But it's been more than that, and we've kept in touch. And he's a minister now. And I know every once in a while he reads my posts. We're Facebook friends, and he loves what I do. And I know that's why he probably kind of cringes with what I say, but I think he understands. I really do. All right. Too busy giving everyone else everything except what they really needed. Time and guidance. You got that right. But Sherry, Christy, the reason those people can't give the guidance is because they don't know how. And okay, it's real easy to say, let's go to parenting school. Do you want them to go to a parenting school conducted by somebody like me or somebody else? How about a liberal? How about a raving liberal? I'm going to have the sympathy for them. I have that right away. That's part of what I believe in. You have to have a little bit of sympathy, but you don't live on the sympathy. You let them know that they can be bigger than what they are. There doesn't have to be. There are certain things you could do. Oh, Jim, it's so much fun to see you do this stuff. I totally disagree with you, Jim. I think people need to get out more. There are so many blue-collar jobs out there. Let me tell you something. Then let's automate. Let's go ahead and send an automated robot to your house to do the plumbing work. Let's see if you can do that. Not going to happen. Yes, there are automation in other areas, no doubt about it. But that's I don't buy that stuff. I really don't. 100 million people. Go to the machine. There are certain things that they still can't teach computers to do. Can't do it. But I'll get back to what I said. The biggest thing we have to do is change what we're doing as conservatives. This is what gets me. We're always interested, and I'm not saying you ladies, obviously. We're always interested in telling other people how to do it. But some of you people actually have a good reason to say it. You get it. But we have to concentrate on what we need to do to retake our country back, because there's only so much. Let me tell you right now, there's only so much you could do from a distance. If you grow up in an atmosphere where your mom is a drug addict or dad's a drug addict, both of them are drug addicts, and you wake up in the morning and you got a kid running around with a crappy diaper, do you really think that these two parents are someone that should be raising any children at all? They can't even take care of themselves. In fact, that's a main part of welfare. If you can't take care of yourself, why are you taking care of somebody else? Why are you having more kids? Oh, wait a minute. I hear this all the time. Those people on welfare do not have other kids for more money. That would be stupid. Really? My mom had 18 kids. I guarantee it wasn't because she loved being a mom. I guarantee you that. The more money came in every month, the better it was. Trust me on that one. Oh, goodness gracious. That's just it. When you grow up with this and you know what it is. And I love it. I love it when a liberal tells me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Everywhere I go, I see help wanted signs. There are jobs. Work your way up. Do the hard stuff. The stuff nobody else wants to do. And let's do something else as conservatives. Stop looking down on people that work at McDonald's and stuff. I mean, come on. You know, you want your meal right. You want it. And I get really mad. I get really mad at conservatives who are so damn cocky. And it's really interesting how this works. But so damn cocky. And they go, well, they shouldn't pay that person or that much money. As long as it's not government mandated, it's really none of your business. Who the hell made you their employer to say that guy on the grill isn't worth $14 an hour or whatever? I hear this from conservatives. You bunch of lame asses. I'm sorry. Who the hell are you? You know, I got friends. I know they get mad at me when I say this, but you know, if they're there working a job and going there every day, and a lot of these people don't even have the transportation to give. They get on a bus and ride a bus for half a day. Well, Christy, I have offered that. Christy says maybe we should also think about picking a kid to mentor. That right, there might make a difference for that child. You're absolutely right. But here's what we got. You see, now you can relate to this. You can have a kid to mentor, okay? But if you have a loser parent, they normally don't want you to get involved in it. They want you to stay away from their kids. Who do you think you are? I know what I'm doing. Pass me the drugs. The hard part is, and I really believe, I think that's a great idea. I would love to mentor kids. You know, as a coach, I mentored kids. I mentored kids with rich parents. When I was the hockey coach and the parents walked in with their kids' equipment, I remember telling my players one time, it's like, next time I see your parents walking in with your equipment, you're not playing. And all the kids were like, yes, sir. Guess what happened? Some of them told their parents the next time, and the parents come in and say, don't tell me how to raise my kid. I said, I'm not. I'm telling you the requirements of this team. And they respected me as a coach, and I think only one parent was a pain in the ass. They said, you know what? If he wants to play, I said, that's what he's got to do to play for me. I mean, unless there's a special reason, which generally there isn't. You put it over your shoulder and you're done. You carry the stick in, you put the skates over you. That's what you do. Don't tell me you can't do it. You can do it. Right. Always do your best no matter making an honest living, and it's always be exactly. You know, I don't understand. Well, I do understand because look, I got brothers and sisters that thought criminal activity was a great way to make a living. Happens all the time. And you know what? For those of you who don't understand that, it's called survival. I actually believe that if we actually taught people different ways to survive, because look, the one thing that we all have in us, almost all of us have in us, is the ability for survival. You know, somewhere or another, something comes up, you survive. You do your best to survive. And that's the problem. They have to accept the job as though my sister will not work as a fast. Well, she doesn't want to work. That's why she wants to go straight to an. Actually, she doesn't. We have to get past the mentality of something. But you know what? They do that. Parents do that with kids all the time. Well, you know, in fact, I'll go a step farther with that. Well, if I go to McDonald's, what is that teaching my children? That I'm going to some low-life job? No, it's teaching your children that they could do a whole lot better. That you work here and then you go to something else. You're actually you show them how it works. It's like you start here and you get hired. That's how it works. If your kids need food, nothing that compromises your morals is beneath you. That pride of working, I can't tell you. I had a conservative friend of mine, and he said, "Look," and this is when he was working. He said, "You know something?" He goes, "I'll do whatever it takes to make a living." Fast forward a few years after he told me that, I moved out of town, and you guys have heard this already. I hope they're not listening. Well, I won't say who it is, but I remember him sitting on his happy ass. He was more concerned about what was on jeopardy than he was working a job. He was on unemployment. He was enjoying every minute of it. That was my conservative friend who I still like so much. But it was like, what the hell were you thinking? I think he was depressed, like a lot of people. Look, we all get depressed. That's it. You're right. There's pride in working. There really is. And I really believe that those are things that we need to be teaching children instead of what anal sex is to our children. There's so much we could be teaching our children in schools. There really is. But we don't do a very good job of it. I think our educational system sucks. I think it's indoctrination. I'm about done here because I'm getting sick of it. Maria, you're live. I'm surprised. No, I'm kidding. Liberals will never, ever admit they are wrong. They will lose jobs, houses, have no food, but no, they won't. They know how to get all that stuff. Maria, they know how to get all that stuff. They don't need it. See, they don't need the job because all they have to do is go to their government and they're done. They want to pay for someone. You got that right. You got that right. And Sherry, love to meet your husband someday. He needs to be involved anyway. But you will do. Look, I know how to do a lot of things, and I'm not bragging. I know how to do electrical, plumbing. I know how to program computers. I know how to do all kinds of things. Why? Because I have been a sponge my whole life. I spend my life learning. Because when I get too old to do what I do, I do commercial lighting. I didn't go to one class for any of it. I learned from others, plus the knowledge I already had. And I'm really good at what I do. Vinny, I screwed up. I had somebody just tell me I need to get involved with Bitcoin, and I haven't done that. So maybe somebody can lead me that way. I don't know. I really do need to learn that, though. I really do. That and silver. I don't know. All I hear is Bitcoin and silver. Anybody right? I'd hate to buy silver and all of a sudden see the bottom drop out and say, holy crap, where'd it go? Pretty interesting. Anyway, well, folks, it's I'm over time as usual, but I'll be back tomorrow. Just give you more grief, but go to realrepublicans.net and get involved. And you know what? We're going to be starting chapters in other counties. By the way, this Thursday, if you're in Perryville, Missouri, I will be, I don't want to sound like I'm big stuff, I will be appearing there. I will be joining these people and giving them my 3 cents worth of why we're doing Real Republicans, and there's other counties I'll be going to also. But if you are a county that wants me to go there, I'm not charging to go there. I'm doing it because I love my country. I want us to get back, and I want everybody to understand that when you go to Real Republicans and you get involved with the monthly, especially when you do that, you are helping your country. You are involved in the decisions. We're not always going to agree, but the one thing I think we all agree with is that we better start doing something. And until Republicans, until conservatives, not phony Republicans, until real Republicans get truly serious, we're toast. We're done. You got to get off your asses. You got to do something, and we can fix. And I really believe if we had the right people in charge, I really do believe this. Sherry and Christy, we've had some great responses here. But we have the wrong people in charge. And I'll go back to one other thing. You can go back and forth and help with the like with what the Senate and House is doing. But if you had the right people in place to begin with, this would be nothing. This would be a piece of cake because we'd have the right people to vote the way we want. But because we want to believe the lies, and we want to believe the lies, we want to believe the ones that, quote unquote, aren't going to cost us. If you don't think higher taxes aren't cost, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. So, all right, everybody. Okay, I think I'm done for one day. We'll cause more trouble tomorrow for sure. So, anyway, go to realrepublicans.net. And if you don't see me on Facebook, you can go to my website, which is superdaveshow.com, and you can watch me on that, or MeWe, or Gab, and I'm trying to do others. And for those you're asking about the shows, since they keep deleting them on Facebook because they make too much sense on YouTube, I'll probably be doing. I'm looking for a place to put them. Whatever. My money won't go into the Salvation Army, bucket, or any organization. I'll invest in the future of this group. Thank you. That's awesome, Christy. First time I was able to donate and feel it. Doesn't, I mean, really, it feels good. You feel like you're part of it. I mean, really, I don't know how someone doesn't do that, because you feel like you're part of it. And it all adds up. It adds up. And you know, these people is like, they add like 10 or 20 or 30 bucks is going to kill them. Go back to your place. Go fight everything all by on your own. The one problem with conservatives is we don't unite. And isn't it great, Christy? You feel like you're being part of something that's united. It is for me. I mean, and it doesn't mean because I'm the one that started this. I don't really care. You know, I really hope in time that you get someone a hell lot smarter than me that takes over and says, get him out of here. Because there's plenty of people smarter than me. I just don't know of any. I'm joking. So, all right, my friends, I like to kid around. You know that. So, all right, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm getting full of myself here, so I better shut up. So, anyway, I really am not like that. So, all right, thanks a lot, and I will see you tomorrow. You all have a great day.
You can't quit. And why not? Like you're fired. You can't fire me. Why not? Did you quit?
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is! Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's going.
It ain't over now! Because when the going gets tough! The tough get going! Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
Thanks. I needed